We are 6 days away from the 2022 NFL Draft, and rumors are afloat. And in this video, we're going to break them down. Brad Holmes, he had a presser yesterday. A lot of nuggets you can take away. We're going to talk about it. Same with Jared Goff. DeShawn Elliott's contract came out, the details, and it looks pretty good. Also, is Daniel Jeremiah on crack? But before we get into today's video, if you think it's a sound and smart idea to drink toilet water right after somebody just sat on it and had a massive case of diarrhea and decided not to flush the toilet, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, because we talk all things Detroit Lions news and rumors. And sometimes being a Lions fan, you can get a taste of disgusting. Also, make sure you take that like button with you, throw it in the toilet, and finally flush that bad boy down. Let's get into today's Lions rumors. DeShawn Elliott was signed to the Detroit Lions. A lot of people were pretty excited about it. We needed a safety. But the contract was initially shown to be a $5.25 million deal. With that said, the details came out. The base salary, less than $1 million. Signing bonus, $135,000. A cap hit of 1.1. And this deal is really incentive-laced to get the rest. So that means Elliott needs to perform on the field to get and make that money. And considering that Elliott is a player that has injury issues, has been laden through that throughout his young career, it's very good for the Detroit Lions financially. So you're getting a player who, if they want to make their money, they got to show that they can do it on the field. And that's great things, because in Detroit, we're used to just overpaying for players, and that used to be what it is. The pinned comment for this video is going to be an interesting one, and I cannot wait to read the comments about this. I want to hear funny comments, because Daniel Jeremiah thinks the Detroit Lions, if Aiden Hutchinson's not sitting there too, should draft Derek Stingley, the cornerback at LSU, at number 2. Let me know in the comments section below. Would you like the Detroit Lions to draft Derek Stingley at 2? Y for yes and N for no. Just like I was saying, Daniel Jeremiah is throwing out the Derek Stingley draft pick at 2. And it wasn't just him. It was another general manager. NFL Network apparently needs something to talk about. Let's talk about Derek Stingley at 2. I give the odds of this happening a 0.0000001% chance, because the Detroit Lions have a decent cornerback room right now. They do. And if they want to go cornerback, Sauce Gardner seems to be a little bit better with less issues due to injury from Detroit. And the fact that we drafted Jeffrey Okudah just a couple years ago. For the Detroit Lions to draft Stingley at 2, I think the fan base would riot, and I believe they would have a right to be very, very angry at that spot. Not only I don't believe you're taking the best player available approach, the odds of him being on the field all the time is low. And when you're picking at 2, you need to pick the best player available. You need to have an impact player day 1, and he needs to be a game changer day 1. When it comes to the secondary, that would not probably be the case. And considering the fact that there would be players such as Kayvon Thibodeau available, players even such as Trayvon Walker, Jermaine Johnson, and if you are all about the secondary, Kyle Hamilton, and if you really like Sauce Gardner, probably be a better position than taking Derek Stingley at that position. Folks, we're at this time of day where people just want headlines, and that is a headline for you to laugh at and cringe at the same time. But let's get into some interesting information that came out yesterday. We're going to talk about the press conference by our current quarterback, Jared Goff. He was asked many questions yesterday. I don't know about you, but when I was watching, I felt like that Jared Goff was a little bit annoyed being in the press conference yesterday. He was asked, obviously, about the quarterback position. He's asked about Deebo Samuel. When he talked about Deebo Samuel, if the Lions were to trade for him, he would absolutely like it. obviously getting him another playmaker. I'm sure that would put a big smile on his face, and he would be, yes, that would help the team out. He didn't go into great detail or anything. He says, that's not my issue to deal with. That's Brad Holmes. He's 100% right there. That would be a Brad Holmes thing. Interesting when he talked about how would you feel if the Detroit Lions drafted a quarterback at that number 2 position or at 32. And he said, look, I guess I've never really been in that position regarding to grooming a quarterback or helping a youngster out. He said he wouldn't have a problem with it, and that'd be okay. I seem annoyed with the question, but he was also asked, are you worried that they're going to draft a quarterback at 2? And he says, no, I'm not worried at all. I'm not worried about my job. Folks, I think he already knows that we're not taking a quarterback at 2. You may not fully know that we're taking quarterback 32, but I'm sure he's been given information that Jared Goff, we're going to help you out. We're going to put talent around you defensively, offensively. Don't worry about it. Your job is safe for the 2022 NFL season. All you got to do is perform. I'm sure he already knows that. That's what they did last year as well when Brad Holmes came in. He was assured, and I'm assuring that he was assured again. But let me know in the comment section below. Do you believe Jared Goff is actually worried at all that the Detroit Lions will be taking a quarterback in this year's draft high, whether it be 2, 32, or 34? Why for yes and for no? I really don't believe he's worried. I think he knows. But hey, I am just one guy. Let me know what you guys think. Brad Holmes was talked about getting players at that number 2 position. And he stressed, I felt like, multiple times that you must get a game changer at the number 2 position. Yes, you have to get a game changer. Absolutely. You have to get a day 1 stud. You got to get a guy who's a bona fide changer on the field, whether it be a quarterback, defensive end, whatever. But when you go into a draft, you need a game changer, and he expressed that. So what can we take away from the game changer, his stressing on this? Well, I think we can talk about the edge position. I think that's exactly what he's given his insight in, that we need to get a guy who's going to start immediately and change the game. If you look at the Lions' defensive line, it's not good regarding getting to the quarterback. You get sacks. It does change the game. Force the quarterback to throw the football early. That's a game changer. So what I'm thinking is these 3 prospects here. Kayvon Thibodeaux, edge from Oregon. Aiden Hutchinson, if he somehow fell to 2. And Trayvon Walker as well, the edge from Georgia. They want guys who can wreak havoc immediately. Could he be talking about a Malik Willis? He could be. I still believe that he's not. I believe he's talking about edge in that fast. That's just my personal belief because that's what we need. We've been hearing about it, and that's what he's been talking about. Also, Brad Holmes was talking about some trades and the interest at 2 and 32. He gave a really good insight on this one. He said he has had little interest of teams trading up so far to the number 2 pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. And it makes sense because there's not those bona fide players that are simply going to team jump up to get, like a quarterback they feel, or like maybe they want to get a tackle. There's just not that type of draft this year. And where you're sitting at 2, that kind of sucks if you're trying to trade out. It really does. And I think it's going to be hard for the Lions to trade. I think they're going to stay at that pick. Will interest peak up as we get closer to the draft and or draft day itself? I'm sure it will, but I'm going to guess and assume that the offers will be much less than we've done in years past. And that's not a good thing for the Detroit Lions at all. I think that's bad. But he also talked about, and I think more importantly, potential trades at the 32nd pick, trading up. Well, he talked about trading up and trading down. He said if there is a player he covet and he feels like he's falling, he has no issue going up and getting his guy, trading future assets to get a player, someone that he likes. So the possibility of the Detroit Lions trading up from 32, Look, it looks likely. Well, not likely. It looks like there's a possibility. We'll say that. Let me know in the comment section below right now. Would you like the Detroit Lions to trade up from the 32nd pick to get a player? Why for yes and for no? Let me know what you guys think. And he also talked about trading out of the 32nd pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. He said if a team wants to jump up to get that fifth-year option for a quarterback, he would definitely look into it. And then the reporter asked him, well, it could be another player. He says it could be, but probability, a team looking for a quarterback. So, what is very intriguing as this draft day one comes out, we need to pay attention to who is falling from the quarterback position. Will Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis, will they fall? Will Desmond Ridder fall? Because if they fall to 32 and the Detroit Lions did not trade up, we have a ability to trade back and acquire more draft picks to help this team out for the future of this team and for the short term, the long term and the short term. He talked about how he would like to acquire assets for the 2023 NFL Draft. Very smart. I 100% agree with him. If they don't take a quarterback this year, you want to give Jared Goff this year to see what he can do. Well, you want to have assets next year so you can make sure you can get that quarterback that you covet for the future of the franchise. So I'm all about getting assets for 2023, all about trading back, getting more talent for the Detroit Lions. Folks, you need to make sure you subscribe to Lions Nation Unite because I'm going to be live on there for the 2022 NFL Draft. Day one with Everything King, my homie Chrissy, and of course, Lions great Herman Moore. It's going to be fun. We're going to be live in studio, taking questions and making names. Also, in the upcoming videos, we got the mailbag segment. Tomorrow, me and Chris from Detroit Lions Podcast, we took your questions. So make sure you get ready for that to have his insight in there. Follow me on all social media sites, Twitter, Facebook, LNU. With that said, folks, adios.